Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to Scuba Diver Magazine. My name is James and I'm Scuba Diver Magazine's man in Miami. I'm a professional technical diving instructor and digital content creator, and Scuba Diver Magazine have brought me over from my own YouTube channel, Divers Ready, with one simple goal in mind: to help make you a better scuba diver. And welcome to this, the third installment in the series that we're calling Basics, sponsored by Aqualung, where every video we take one component of the basic scuba equipment setup and break it down part by part, giving you a guide as what you should be looking for when shopping for each item of dive gear. And as you can probably tell already, this video we're focused on masks. We're going to be going through the mask in probably more detail than you ever thought was possible, breaking down and explaining the different components of a dive mask and what you should be looking for when you invest in your own dive mask. And as if that wasn't enough, Scuba Diver Magazine will be giving away one Aqua Lung Plazma Mask and one Apeks VX1 mask, newly released masks on the market here. Stay tuned to the end of the video for your chance to enter and win these masks. And as Aqualung were kind enough to send me one of these masks each, I took them for a test dive down in Key Largo. So later in this video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and feelings about these masks and who I think they're best suited for, as well as my number one top piece of advice for anyone at any stage of their diving career looking to buy a new mask. So stay tuned for that, you're not going to want to miss it. But first, let's dive straight in and talk about the different components of a scuba mask, of which there are really four basic parts, starting with arguably the most important part, which is the skirt. Now, the skirt of the mask is the part that dictates how the mask fits to your face, and having a nice wide contact area is very important because that's going to create a seal. Now, when you buy a mask, fit is everything. If the mask leaks, that's the number one thing that can ruin your dive experience and turn a confident diver into an unconfident one and just generally mar your whole diving experience. So a good fitting mask is absolutely essential, and that all starts with the skirt. Now, the skirt is normally made of silicone or some kind of blend thereof, and each manufacturer has their own proprietary formula for the particular type of silicone that they use to create the skirts for their masks. But what is important is you're looking for softness, suppleness, and the ability to create a fit to your individual face. Now, I can't tell you what the best mask in the world is for you because I don't know what your face looks like, and everyone's face is different. But what you really need to make sure you do is try the mask on and make sure that any mask you're considering fits you really well. The main decision-making factors when you're choosing a skirt for your mask, other than the fit, is do you want a clear silicone skirt such as this one, or a dark silicone skirt, which doesn't necessarily mean black, it can be any one of a number of colors these days, but non-translucent, i.e. it's not going to let light in through the side. Definitely on the technical diving side and the photography side, we tend to prefer dark silicone skirts because it focuses your field of vision better. People who suffer from claustrophobia often prefer a lighter mask because it lets more light in from the side and gives more of kind of a wide open feeling. Next up, we have lenses, and your choice with lenses basically comes down to whether you want one or two lenses in your mask. What do I mean by that? Well, both the Plasma and the VX1 mask here by Apeks have one single piece of glass that forms both sides of the lens, as opposed to something like this, which is one of my old masks that has two separate pieces of glass. Now, the advantages and disadvantages of each are as follows. With a two lens design, those lenses are set closer to the face because the nose cup runs between them, and that gives you a better peripheral vision, particularly below, which is really good when you're looking at instruments, gives you a much better field of vision below you. And in addition to that, some two lens masks allow you to fit prescription lenses into them. So if you're nearsighted or farsighted, or even bifocals, you can get little inserts that go in and adjust the vision of the lenses. The advantage of a one lens design is that the lens sits further away. You still have quite a wide field of view, but there are definitely less failure points. And then on the market these days, you can find any color of tinted lenses, mirrored lenses, polarized lenses. In my mind, they're all gimmicks. You don't need those things underwater, but if that's something you want to spend your money on, it's entirely up to you. What I'm looking for in the lens, be it a one lens or two lens design, is the quality of the crystal. Just like buying a lens for a camera, the higher the grade of glass that they use to make the lens, the better the vision, the better the image quality, the less impurities in the lens, the better the color contrast is going to be, and the better your field of vision and diving experience is going to be. But at an absolute minimum, any glass that you buy needs to be tempered. That means they add a little bit of silica into the glass blend so that if the glass is actually impacted, instead of shattering, which is the last thing you want with glass near your eyeballs, the glass just kind of crumbles instead. So your next consideration when buying a mask is, do you want a framed mask or a frameless mask? What do I mean by frameless? Well, essentially a frameless mask, the main body of the mask is made up of only the two components, the lens and the silicone skirt, and the lenses are set directly into the skirt. Both of these masks here happen to be frameless masks. A framed mask, on the other hand, if I just bring this one back into shot, or this one here, I have a whole bunch of them off camera, have some kind of a plastic design that braces the silicone to the glass itself and holds everything together. I generally prefer a frameless design because there's less failure points again. As you can see with this mask here, a piece of plastic is actually broken off already, so that's already starting to go. That wouldn't happen with silicone wrapping around the actual lenses itself. That being said, frameless masks do tend to be more expensive than their framed counterparts. This is because you need to use a higher quality, stiffer silicone to be able to be strong enough to hold the lens in place. And then the fourth and final part of the mask is, of course, the strap. The strap attaches by a buckle to each side of the mask, and the strap is usually made from either silicone or rubber, or in some cases nylon, as with the VX1, where they actually supply a nylon Velcro strap that you can switch out for the silicone one that the mask actually comes with. I'm not a big fan of these because if you remember your open water course on weight belts, nylon expands when it's wet, which means during the dive you're constantly having to tighten these straps. Remember that a strap shouldn't be doing the heavy lifting. If you've got a good fit on your mask, the weight of the water pressure will hold the mask against your face. The strap is really there just to stop it from slipping or coming off in a strong current, or when you enter or exit the water. So you're not looking for too much in a mask. I generally prefer silicone because it's more grippy and it's going to hold on to the back of my head better than nylon, which can slip. I know that people with long hair, not an affliction I've ever been particularly troubled with. So if I show you my wife's mask, she has long, beautiful hair, so she just uses this neoprene mask strap cover to go over a silicone strap. In my mind, the best of both worlds. Mask straps are a wear and tear item. It's always a good idea to have a spare mask strap in your Saver Dive kit. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That covers the four main components when shopping for a scuba mask. Now, as I said, Aqualung were kind enough to loan me a couple of these masks, so I took them down to Key Largo. Here are my thoughts on who I think these masks are best suited for, starting with the Aqua Lung Plazma. Is a good entry-level mask option. If you're a beginner diver, if this was my first ever mask, I would be very happy for this. And to have a frameless design at this price point is very attractive to me. A couple of things with that. First off, when I got it out of the box, I didn't even realize it was a frameless design because the different coloring silicone that they put for the actual part that grips around looks like a traditional mask frame. So they've done a really good job of disguising that, but a closer inspection, that's not plastic, that's actual silicone, and it is a true frameless mask, which I thought was a nice piece of design. I managed to get this mask to fit me with no problems at all, and it was super comfortable in the water. I would say that it's not the most flexible or soft or supple silicone skirt that I've ever used, but at this price point I wouldn't expect it to be. I thought the field of vision was very wide. There was a lot of light coming into the mask, and I felt that the color contrast that I was seeing was good enough again at this sort of entry-level price point. I certainly think if I was a beginner diver, would I know enough to notice the difference? No, I wouldn't, and I'd be very happy with the quality I'd be getting. I would say that I was reminded of why I hate clear silicone skirts. as I was diving, what happens is your vision kind of blurs off towards the edge where the silicone skirt is letting light in on the peripheral, and you get kind of this vignetting effect, which is why I generally prefer a dark skirted mask. But all in all, a good budget option for a beginner diver. I do feel though that you could spend a little bit more money and get a much better mask. So that brings me to the VX1. I'm a bit of an Apeks fanboy. I have Apeks regulators, Apeks wings, and up until this point I've always used either Scuba Pro or Atomics masks. So when I heard Apeks were coming out with a mask aimed at technical divers, my main concern was please don't suck, please don't suck. And although this mask is just on loan to me, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it and take it for a test dive. And I am happy to report that this mask does not suck. So this mask is made at the TechniSub facility in Genoa, which is where Aqualung make all of their masks, and obviously rebranded for Apeks. But that being said, it has Apex's stamp of approval, and it is up in line with the quality of everything that they put out. Let's start with the skirt. Super soft and supple. I mean, just really, surgical grade silicone, super comfortable on the fit. No problems at all getting a good seal, and a nice wide lip, so there is very, very little chance of this mask leaking. They haven't shirked on the material for the contact area with the face, and it really feels like a nice, firm, secure fit on your face. The glass is crystalline, it's beautiful, nice crisp image, very sharp colors I thought, and again it sits close to the face with a nice wide field of view. As you can see, it comes in this nice swanky Maui Jim inspired case, which is going to make you the envy of all your dive buddies on the boat. As I said earlier, it comes with a nylon mask strap. When I opened this up, I thought it was going to be a mask strap cover branded with Apeks, and I got all excited, and then I turned it over and saw the nylon strap, so that would go straight in the bin for me. But this mask case, super lovely, got a little clip on the edge there. And it's going to protect your investment, and it is an investment. This mask is not cheap, and I did take this mask on a tech dive in the morning before I did the official test dives on a shallow reef in the afternoon, so I can vouch that it stood up in deep low light conditions as well. As I said at the start, these are only loaner masks. Would I buy myself a VX1 mask? Well, if price wasn't a factor to consider, if money was no option, then yes, I would dive this mask. I think it's a solid mask. But the inverse is true as for the plasma mask. If you spent $20 or $30 less, you could get a mask as good a quality as this one. But as an Apeks fanboy, I'm just really happy that they've made a mask that doesn't suck. So before I get to my last biggest piece of advice for anyone looking to buy a new mask at any stage of their diving career, Scuba Diver magazine, sponsored by Aqualung, are going to be giving away one Aqua Lung Plazma Mask and one Apeks VX1 mask to a lucky viewer of this video. To enter that contest, the details are going to be through a link that you can only access by expanding the description of this video below, clicking on that link and following the instructions. Good luck to everyone who enters. Now, as has become tradition in this series of basics, I like to give you my one biggest piece of advice impartially as to anyone who's looking to buy whatever the piece of equipment is, in this case masks. Are you ready for it? Pin your ears back, because here it comes. My number one biggest piece of advice for anyone looking to buy a scuba mask is go down to your local dive center and try them on. This is not something you want to shop for online, unless you have free returns, of course. No. Better it is to go down to your local dive center and try on a whole range of different masks and find one that truly fits you well. Having a well-fitting mask is going to add years of enjoyment to your dives. Having a mask that fits you poorly, that's constantly leaking, is going to make your diving miserable and eventually put you off the sport, and I don't want to see that. So support your local dive shop, get down there, try the masks. Don't be one of those douches that goes and then buys online. Spend money locally, support your local dive shop. You can't fill your tanks online, so you're going to want that business to succeed. Okay, rant over. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already. Plenty of great content here on Scuba Diver Magazine's YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see more content from yours truly, there is a link in the description below to my own channel, Divers Ready. Feel free to head over there. I've got tons of hints and tips and travel tutorials aimed at divers from novice to expert. So enjoy all that great stuff. I'd like to say thank you again to Aqualung for sponsoring this series of videos. Just over here, I'm going to put a playlist with all of our basics videos, and below that, I'll let the YouTube algorithm pick whichever video of ours is next best for you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name's James for Scuba Diver Magazine. Dive safe, dive often.